Hey everybody, how's it going? Cisco here. Today we're just going to be doing a casual commentary. This is from a match I played, Payload Badwater. I think I ended up going like 38 and 2 or 3, something like that. But the reason is I'm running the most freaking insane loadout ever. I'm sure all of you guys have seen it, some variation. You got the lock and load for the massive damage, charge and charge, massive damage resistance, and then some people will just use like pan or something like that, but I actually use the horse man headless man taker, the freaking axe that works like the Islander. Okay, so I'm using that thing, and it actually saved me in a number of situations that like I ran out and I've got like 2 health left, and that's because I was able to rack up a couple heads with the head taker, and it makes my life a lot easier with the movement speed. It just freaking like builds on itself. It is insane. So I just want to like point out by saying, okay, my aim it's not the best. Though I don't use the lock and load that much. If I'm playing demo, I stick to the Iron Bomber. I'd say 9 times out of 10 I'll run with the Iron Bomber. If you guys watch my channel, you'll know that I like that thing. I don't know. I like having 4 shots over 3, and I think the Iron Bomber's arc is actually a little bit more consistent with my aim than the stock grenade launcher. But oh my goodness, the lock and load can do some serious damage. And then it's got barely an arc, so basically if you can put your cursor on somebody, that pill is going to go straight to them, and you're going to be dealing a lot of damage to them and everybody around them. They reduce the blast radius, but I don't think that changes much. They tried to nerf this weapon, I think, by giving it 3 shots. I don't know how that would nerf it, but it can still freaking take out a team. And so lock and load is really like the weapon that nobody wants to talk about, because everybody knows that it's really good, and so some people will just not play it because they know it's kind of a cheap weapon and you don't have to have a whole lot of skill to get some kills with it. A lot of it's just luck. You'll see a couple examples of that. I mean, like I'm pretty good myself, but some of these are a little bit insane, and they're just like beyond my control. So yeah, how's it going? I'm doing good. I just got out of my first year of college. I am not a freshman anymore. That's always a good thing to not be. And things are going well. So I'm on spring break. Shoot, I'm on summer break. That's what I meant. Yeah, okay. To be fair, it's mild outside and it snowed during my legitimate spring break. So I'm gonna consider this both my spring and summer vacation. I haven't gone to Florida yet, but that's on the agenda. Alright, before I get too carried away, I wanted to talk about a little something first, and that deals with competitive TF2. Now there's a lot of things circling around the TF2 community right now involving competitive play, competitive matchmaking, that kind of thing. So I just want to throw my opinion, I want to throw my hat into that ring. So, premise: we have all heard the Valve's coming and confirmed that we're getting a ranked / competitive matchmaking system, and I'm excited about that. Only if it does what it's supposed to do. This is the thing that TF2 needs to carry on, and it needs to be a good system. None of this like MVM matchmaking crap. Something like CSGO or a Dota matchmaking, where you have ranks, levels. When you queue up for a match, you should be able to specify what type of competitive TF2 you want to play, whether it be Highlander, 6v6, maybe even like ulti duo, that kind of thing. And then once you select your mode, you should be able to like pick your top 3 classes you want to play in order of preference, and then you'll be ranked in that. So like for me, I'd prefer to play soldier, but as we know, those will usually get filled up first. So I'd say if I don't get soldier, next put me for engineer, because that's always fun. And then if you can't find an engineer slot, find me a demo slot. If not, I just wait for one of those to open up, basically is what I'm saying. So there's a really narrow window that Valve has to try and fit through to make everybody happy. And I've heard a lot of things circling around that kind of concern me. First off, that there will only be a 6v6 matchmaking thing, or there will only be a Highlander matchmaking system set up. I've heard that there will only be a 6v6 because that's what Valve is comfortable with, and it's more comparable to like the CSGO or Dota. I've heard people say that it's because the TF2 devs are only familiar with matchmaking for smaller groups, and I don't think that really should make a difference in how our ranking is going to be compromised. Major thing is, I don't think they should think about like removing Highlander at all, because that's basically the core of TF2. You got 9 classes, each class being represented, and each class fills a certain niche to the team, and you want to see how the best of those classes can match up against each other. And so I've heard that, and I've heard that there will only be a 6v6 because that's like seen as the more real competitive. People will often like look down on Highlander as it's not like as competitive because it's more of a relaxed setting in the way that it has been played before. Now, everything can change, and I wouldn't want to see either sacrificed, which is why I would like to see them be able to have Highlander and 6v6. Probably not ulti duo, because nobody really, that's more of a thing that you do on like a MGE server, like something, a private server that you can do that. So say they do implement everything. You got Highlander you can pick from, 6v6, you're ranked, you can like level up in a sense. I mean, they could keep similar tiers, iron, steel, that we're familiar with, to gold, platinum, everything like that, and that'd be a good way to classify people, so you're gonna be matched with people of similar skill. And they could implement a kind of a matchmaking ranking. That could also be another way to do it. So you'll be matched up with people with similar MMR, like a Dota style, and they have plenty of options. But as long as you're able to grow, I think that's what's going to be able to help. I think this could re-engage a lot of people who have forgotten about the TF2, because once you're good at it, you can only pub stomp for so long before, you know, I can get 38 kills and 2 deaths, because there is clearly an imbalance. Somebody who has 2,000 hours like me versus somebody who has like maybe even 500, the skill just doesn't match up. I've seen a lot of people, you're still considered new-ish to the game if you have around like 1,000 hours, and that's the only game I've seen that from, because it's just so many different things, tips, tricks. You can never like be an expert in this game unless you've put some like serious hours. Like I've seen people with like 16,000 hours on this. It just blows my mind. And so people just need a way to stay engaged. They need something, you know, actual competition, and that's what makes the game fun. And so that's why people have started to create their own matches. That's why we have UGC Highlander. It's why we have the site called TF2 Center, where you can find matches. They're not going to be the most well balanced, but it's to get yourself introduced to playing with people who actually care about the game, and they're gonna, you know, not just derp around throwing sandwiches around. That's for some people, but a lot of people want to actually see how well they can do against other people who are all doing the same thing. Side note, okay, so Muselk, we all love him. He took up the mantle after Jarman Star. He's now the largest TF2 YouTuber. I think that is fair to say. So he may have let slip about the little secret called TF2 Center. After he mentioned it in one of his videos, the site dropped like a rock. Usually, if you're finding a match, there'll be, maybe one new person, and then you'll have 17 other veterans that can balance it out. If you got one person, it's okay, no problem. Just join Mumble. Just will help you out. If you're playing as a medic, just heal the heavy and you should be good. But when you have lobbies where there's like 7 or 8 people who have never played a match before, it's just a pub. That's all it is. So I tried to join a TF2 Center match, and I looked, and there are people with 2-3 matches played on on TF2 Center, and I didn't even bother finding a match. I just if I wanted to find a pub, I'd go to the Valve server list and hit find me a payload match or whatever. So there's a couple of things that need to be looked at, and so it's nobody's fault. It's just a massive saturation of the market. Now there's a lot of new people, and it's gonna take quite a while for for everything to balance out. It was really bad. I'm sorry. I'm sure a lot of you have seen something similar. I haven't checked it in a while because I didn't have the heart to, but it might be better now. I don't know. And so what it really all this boils down to is the huge skill curve between some of the new players and the veterans, and sometimes it's not always the best to have them in the same area. So if we did have a matchmaking system, it would better match people with people of similar skill, and then that way everybody would have a better time. The veterans would be with other veterans, and the newer people would be able to learn the game with other new people, instead of others being frustrated with each other that they're not at the same skill level, and that's impossible to demand. So all we can really do right now is just be optimistic and hope that everything gets sorted out in a proper manner, and we can, I guess, let Valve know what we think, and the level that they listen to us and take in our opinions. That will all be determined when we see the final product. And I made mention earlier that this could be enough to get some of the people back. I was saying a lot of people have just grown tired because they've hit the wall where they can't advance anymore in the pubs because their skills kind of lapse that point, but they don't feel inclined to actively search out for a Highlander team or anything like that. And this would just remove a lot of the hassle. And in going through this, I hope that we will be able to see the return of some of the people that we know as a community, like Star and Jerma. Star has always had the problem of no matter what pub he joins, whether it be like a live stream or a game, there will always be people that will recognize him and then seek out to join the match that he's in and just ruin the experience, because that's what they do. They're like, oh, that'd be so fun to get in a pub and troll Star, and then all of a sudden it becomes not being fun for anybody. Then and people can't have their privacy. Star's had to change his name every time he's posted a video for years now, and I'd like to see what this update would do for a lot of other people who have just kind of faded out in the community. I wonder if Stabby he's been streaming once, and I saw that, and it'd be interesting to see that if this might not be a bad time to get some of those people back and see who returns. I would keep playing this. It's treated me well for years, and got years more to come in the future. So here we're just gonna be finishing up. Here we go. 83 points. Good match. Good game. Goodbye and good luck.